Welcome to the special meeting of the Putnam County Legislature for the adoption of the 2022 budget. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the legislative prayer. Legislator Castellano, please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Legislator Nasarino, please lead us in the prayer.
We gather together here today intent on doing good work. We seek to represent fairly and well those who have given us this task. May our efforts be blessed with insight, guided by understanding and wisdom. We seek to serve with respect for all. May our personal faiths give us strength to act honestly and well in all matters before us. Amen.
Roll call.
District 1, Legislator Montgomery.
Here.
District 2, Legislator Goulden.
Present.
District 4, Legislator Nasarino.
Present.
District 5, Legislator Albano.
Present.
District 6, Legislator Yonke.
Present.
District 7, Legislator Castellano.
Present.
District 8, Legislator Sage.
Present.
District 9, Legislator Sullivan.
Present.
District 3, Chairwoman Edmondson.
Present. Moving on to pre-filed resolutions. 4A is Probation Department, Stop DWI. It's a partnership initiative, an increase from $13,000 to $17,500. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4B, Sheriff's Department Narcotics, equipment rental lease for body cameras. It's $15,588, placed in sub-contingency. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4C is Sheriff's Department Road Patrol, equipment rental lease for body cameras, $97,800, placed in sub-contingency. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4D is Sheriff's Department BCI equipment rental lease, body cameras, $23,376. Any discussion? Yes, sub-contingency. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4E, Sheriff's Department Communications, equipment rental lease, body cameras, $3,897, placed in sub-contingency. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4F, Sheriff's Department Civil Division, body cameras, $3,897, added to sub-contingency. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4G, Parks and Recreation, Tilly Forster Farm. Maintenance and repairs, $20,000, moved to sub-contingency. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4H, Sheriff's Department adjustments, personnel services. This is promotion to first sergeant from $1,176, $148 to $1,180, $473, a difference of $4,325. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. 4I, Sheriff's Department adjustment, personnel services communications is EMT stipend, difference of $2,000. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. 4J is Sheriff's Department adjustment, personnel, civil division. This is personnel changes within civil. This is a difference of $40,255. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4K, Sheriff's Department adjustment, personnel, services, community, and youth. It's personnel changes within youth. Difference of $8,605. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4L, Sheriff's Department adjustment, personnel, services, road patrol. This is personnel changes within road patrol. It's a difference of $57,833. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
4M, Sheriff's Department adjustment, Personnel Services, Jail. This is retirement, a difference of $31,454. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4N, Sheriff's Department adjustment for jail, food services. This is a pay differential. There's a difference of $0. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. 4O is Sheriff's Department adjustment for the jail, building maintenance. This is going from $10,000 to $1,000, a difference of $9,000. This is building maintenance and grounds. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. 4P, Parks and Recreation, maintenance and repairs. This is a correction to the budget of $15,000 added to sub-contingency. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, moving on to number 5 is other business. 5A, I recognize Legislator Nassarino.
Thank you, Chairwoman Anastasio. I would like to move forward with the Sheriff's Department Civil Division to purchase a vehicle in the amount of $45,000. This vehicle should be a marked sheriff vehicle. This was discussed in personnel when the sheriff and the undersheriff were present, and the request was made based on need. The civil vehicle that they had was decommissioned, and the unit was borrowing a car from the jail. And during the pandemic, that was working out, but as of late, the jail now has a need for that vehicle due to transports. So the vehicle that the civil needs is, some of the uses are orders of protection, confiscate weapons, and to serve evictions. The vehicle must be outfitted as well. I believe that they demonstrated the need for consideration, and I would like to move this forward.
Do we have a second?
Is this to put it on as other
This is
business?
to discuss.
As other business or on the merits of the resolution?
It would be on the merits, because through the chair,
Yes.
the subject matter of the entire agenda is the budget, so it does not need to be moved to add it to the
Okay,
agenda.
thank you.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Legislator Albano. Okay, discussion?
I'd like to
Yes.
make a motion that we amend the motion, and only that we would put the money for the car into sub-contingency.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion on the table, seconded by Legislator Yonke. Discussion on the amendment. Anyone like to discuss? Roll call vote?
What are we voting
On the amendment.
Not gonna put
To put it in sub-contingency.
To put it in sub-contingency.
Mhm. Roll call vote, please?
Legislator Albano.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Yonke.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Nassarino.
No.
Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Legislator Sullivan.
Yes.
Chairwoman Anastasio.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to 5B, we have a proposal by,
Madam Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now that the motion has been amended, you still have to discuss and vote on the amended motion.
okay,
Oh, I voted anyway.
oh. Okay.
Can I rescind my vote? We voted just to put this on
Okay.
for discussion? I'm sorry, I think I misspoke.
Through the chair, if I can clarify,
Yes, please.
Legislator Nassarino, the vote that was just taken was on a motion to amend your motion to put the money into sub-contingency. That motion passed 8-1.
Right, I voted no. Okay, that's fine.
So now we're going to discuss the motion, the sub-contingency, correct? We're voting, right. Okay, anyone, any discussion?
I have a question.
Yes.
If it had not been voted to be amended into sub-contingency, we would have voted altogether not to include it in the budget. I mean, if Legislator Nassarino's motion was to include it in the budget.
Mhm.
We're voting now to include it in the budget.
But
put
it's
it in
something to,
sub-contingency.
right, correct. In
Okay.
sub-contingency.
Otherwise-
So it's still there, but it's in
Okay.
sub-contingency.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion? Roll call vote?
Legislator Albano.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Yonke.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Nasarino.
No.
Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Legislator Sullivan.
Yes.
Chairwoman Anizio.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to 5B, proposal by legislator Nasarino.
And 5B is to request that a motor vehicle in the amount of $35, the money be placed to be placed in sub-contingency, restored $35,000 out of the $90,000 requested. Again, this is for a PCI, and I am requesting that we place this in sub-contingency based on the outcome of our comprehensive vehicle inventory report, which we requested through dialogue during the budget meetings. I believe that once we have that report, we will be better able to assess the need, and if the need is warranted, then we could then we can move to approve this transfer if need be. I also would like to put a stipulation in this sub-contingency that the money allocated is for the purpose only of purchasing a vehicle and shall not be commingled for any other expense in 2022.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Can I just clarify again?
Mhm.
If we don't vote to do this now, there will be no $90,000 in the budget.
Right.
No,
This is being
35,000.
35. This is going into sub-contingency, is what we are. Any discussion? No discussion? Roll call vote?
Legislator Albano.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Yonke.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Nasarino.
Yes.
Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Legislator Sullivan.
Yes.
Chairwoman Anizio.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to 5C, proposal by legislator Sage.
Thank you, Chairwoman Adenizio. The Marine Patrol, item 5C is Marine Patrol Lake Osceola Building Maintenance and Repairs. This item is to be used for maintenance and winterizing the Marine Patrol vessels. This amount has been funded for $15,000 in previous years, which was reflected in maintenance and repairs for 3 marine vessels. As Lake Osceola has only 1 marine vessel, I propose making the adjustments to cover 1 vessel, which includes retaining $5,000 for repairs and maintenance and placing $5,000 in sub-contingency to account for any unforeseen repairs. This line was previously Marine Patrol and Building Maintenance Repairs, but was changed specifically to Lake Osceola, and the funding for this line needs to reflect the changes.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Discussion?
Can you clarify how much you're suggesting we put in?
$5,000 for the maintenance of the boat and $5,000 in sub-contingency. The remaining $5,000 would be out of the budget.
Currently, there's 15,000.
Currently, it's $15,000 for 1 vessel.
Anyone else? Roll call vote?
Legislator Albano.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
No.
Legislator Yonke.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
No.
Legislator Nasarino.
Yes.
Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Legislator Sullivan.
Yes.
Chairwoman Anizio.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to 5D, I recognize legislator Nasarino and Sage. Wants to bring it forward. Legislator Sage. Would you like to bring that forward?
Sure. 5D is for the District Attorney's Office personnel increase, certain personnel from 2.375% to 3%. Putnam County needs to remain competitive and to be able to recruit and retain talented attorneys. We compete with the private sector as well as surrounding counties. That said, new assistant district attorneys know what they're getting into when they sign up for the district attorney's office, whether it's in the Bronx, Westchester, Dutchess, or Putnam County. it can be a training ground for a lifetime of experience. They're faced with long hours, keeping up with the changing laws of the state of New York, difficult caseloads, and possibly burnout. We've heard the difficulties of hiring community attorneys in the DA's office for a few years now, and understand we need to remain competitive. Just looking at Dutchess DA salaries, it does seem that Putnam County is competitive, albeit lower. The increases proposed by the district attorney, to me, were unreasonable for us to meet. Therefore, we decided to acknowledge the district attorney's request and offer a minimum bump to the already proposed increase. The total increase in this personnel services amounts to $2,030.
Have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Madam Chairwoman, before you continue with discussion, since the motion has been seconded, I'd just like to point out a typographical error that the county auditor has apprised me of, and it's nothing more than the budget line item number. Throughout the resolution, it says 101165,100. That one is extraneous, should be stricken, so it's just 101165,000 for all of the entries
Okay.
on the resolution.
Okay. Any discussion? Legislator Nasarino.
Yes, I am supporting this. I feel that the modest increase is warranted for the reasons that Legislator Sage just spoke of, not only being competitive, but they do work very hard. They're very well educated. These are attorneys that we're speaking of, and in order to attract and retain our ADAs, we must stay competitive.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I've asked the district attorney to, actually, the district attorney has promised this body that he would put together a 5-year plan of where he saw salaries to make that office competitive. He failed to do that this year, so I'm a little bit torn, and I'm the one that proposed to him that he and the county attorney meet with our personnel director to set a minimum salary for any attorney that's working for Putnam County on a full-time basis, and let them pick a number so that when we do try to draw graduates from law school, that they can at least enjoy a salary that pays their rent, pays their food, and pays their student loans, which have to be astronomical. So I'm a little torn. Making a small adjustment like this is certainly a tip of the hat to these people, but I'm hoping that the district attorney does what he said he would do in the future. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you. Anyone else? Roll call vote?
Legislator Albano.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Golden.
Yes.
Legislator Yonke.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Nasarino.
Yes.
Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Legislator Sullivan.
Yes.
Chairwoman Anizio.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Moving on to number 6 is offset changes to the budget. I make a motion to recess as we go over the figures with the auditor. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can we have a discussion, please? I just, being that there were other business added to the agenda,
Mhm.
and I have other business, I would like to add that, and as the legislative attorney said, it's not required by resolution.
Mhm.
So if I may?
Motion is made and seconded.
I know. I'll call on council.
Well, the chair, respectfully, the chair should have called for, is there any other business before moving on to 6?
Okay. Okay, so we can go back then and any other business can, okay.
Chair
Okay.
decision, yes.
Yes,
Through
I'm
the
sorry,
chair.
it was my fault, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I should have called for
That's-
any other business.
No, and I didn't,
I skipped over that.
I,
Okay.
I
That's fine.
was surprised to see
Yeah.
that other business was allowed. I
Mhm.
didn't know that Legislator Nasarino and Sage were putting things on the agenda. Had I known that, I would have had it written on the agenda. But, I have before us the partnership initiative for recycling in the health department to restore the Village of Cold Spring garbage removal, 1002 700054936. It was the amount that was taken out in 2019 for $7,500. And I
Okay.
would like it to be put back in the
Okay.
in the budget.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a second on that? No, there's no second.
Thank you. I have another item.
Okay.
Sheriff's Department, restoring the Marine Unit, 1700300051093. As you know, the Marine Unit was defunded and dismantled in 2020 and 2021, and I'm requesting that we put $50,000 back in the budget to take care of our area of the Hudson River, which is the most dangerous part of the Hudson River in Putnam County.
Do we have a second? Okay, there's no second.
Okay, and I have another request to restore the Sheriff's Department Civil Sergeant position. I'm sorry, I don't have the budget line in front of me, but it's easily searched. I don't know what I did with that. But I would propose to restore the funding for the civil sergeant at $113,500. And it's on page 24 of the personnel agenda.
Do we have a second? No second. Any other business?
One more. Considering that we have not increased our funding for mental health in many years throughout the county. In fact, we've increased what we charge Cove Care for their resources there. And mental health resources on the west side of the county don't exist, basically. I'm requesting $10,000 for the Phillipstown Behavioral Health Hub.
Do we have a second? Okay, seeing there's no second, no other business, I'm going to move on to offset changes to the budget, number 6, and we have a motion, so, to recess.
Second.
Previously, well, do it
I think
again.
the motion.
Okay, motion to recess.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
But it's always.
When you really think about it, that car probably
Yeah.
15 to 20% call it back.
20%.
I make a motion to reconvene. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All you have to do
I'm
is
sorry.
call the, Madam Chairman, all you have to do is call the legislature back to order. You don't
Okay.
need a motion.
Okay.
Number 6, the use of the fund balance from 2.264338 to 2.299953. There's a difference of $35,615. Use of the fund balance, add the fund balance. No, if you want the number, it's 10131000427,161.
What page is
That's
it
a
on?
line, 14.
That's right.
$2 million. Right. 2,264,338 to 2,299,953. I'm going to make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
What do we have a discussion?
Yeah. Well, we have a second motion, all in favor? And now discussion.
No.
No? No?
Just
No?
a
Okay.
second before
Okay.
discussion.
Yes. Discussion,
What was that number again? Sorry, 2.2?
which the offset from the final number
Yeah,
you're asking?
sorry.
2,299,953.
And we need that for what?
It was, adjusted amount is required to offset changes to the tentative budget by the county legislature, including county executives' vetoes not overridden by the county legislature, including final adjustment for health insurance rates, to comply with the tax cap requirements of the state of New York.
So it's related to salaries, pretty much. Sounds like.
No, no, it's just a fund balance adjustment.
No, I know, but we needed to, I understand. Thank you.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No,
No? One no? Moving on to 7, is the approval of the budget adoption. Resolved that the Putnam County Legislature hereby approves the 2022 budget resolutions as pre-filed by the Budget and Finance Committee, amended by the legislature on October 28, 2021. And be it further resolved, the individual votes on each budget resolution be made a part of this resolution. I make a motion, accept, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion.
I'd like to make a motion to table it. Seems we have a lot more work to do on this budget.
There's a motion on the table, do we have a second? No, seeing there's no second, we're going to move on to discussion. Any other discussion?
Yeah. About the budget, about
Yes,
your
about-
motion.
Mhm.
So I recall at our first meetings, the county executive stated that the county has had revenue exceed expenses by 38 million over the last 2 budgets. I think I understand now it's about 43 million that revenue has exceeded expenses. Why are we raising taxes? I understand it's not going to be a conversation, but we have in front of us another budget, a county budget that seems to extend steady salary increases to already overpaid elected officials and upper management. It leaves a huge gap between management salaries and staff salaries, which are shamefully low. Budget takes care of patronage hires who support the status quo here in Putnam, if you're in the know. And it reduces funding for essential services the county should be providing to residents. Here are a few examples. The county executive's salary rises to over $170,000. This is more than a $20,000 increase since she took office. I'm really happy to see increases for the legislative staff, and it's hard for me to not be in favor of this budget because of the increases that I see for well-deserving staff. But let's face it, our full-time legislative clerks or one of them at least, makes $1,000 more than we do. We're part-time, he's full-time. It's taken him 5 years to make just above a living wage in Putnam, and this seems to be the case throughout the budget for many staff members, key staff, who actually do our work. They write the memos we sign off on, they prepare us for meetings, they communicate on our behalf with departments we are not allowed to contact ourselves by decree of the county executive. This is ridiculous and it's wrong. The transportation manager's salary rises to $105,635. That's a 40% increase since he was named to what was supposed to be an interim position 8 years ago. And we'll pay for his gold-plated retirement for his lifetime based on this jacked up salary for a job he's not qualified to do. While some hourly county employees will retire with no pensions at all. We have no paratransit in District 1 for those in need. We have no public transportation besides an always empty tourist trolley. Totaling all the positions he's appointed to, the health commissioner pockets at least $230,109, making him the highest paid county employee. His income is actually more than that, since we are not allowed to know his fourth taxpayer-funded salary as our jail physician, because it's paid by a private contract that is in public record. The county charter and state law forbids him from holding positions beyond health commissioner. But you guys on the legislature and the county executive seem fit to break this law. Meanwhile, we have no county-supported mental health facilities in District 1. I asked for merely $10,000 to support what we lack and what we fail to provide our residents. We have defunded the Sheriff's Marine Patrol, demanded more out-of-code care, our only residential mental health facility, and eliminated dispatcher positions. My colleagues here say we can't protect the public on the Hudson River. We can't afford to assist mental health resources. We can't support the basic health and safety needs resulting from an increase in tourism. And yet, without any proposal or plan, you all approved a $10,000 giveaway of taxpayer money to the private Constitution Island Association. You recognize the association as a new outside agency in Putnam County, on par with our libraries, the SPCA, and Cornell Cooperative Extension, with no proposal, no plan, and no documents. The Constitution Island 501c3 has not filed taxes since 2017. The chair of its board is transportation manager, candidate for mayor of Cold Spring. Serving board member, the candidate for sheriff, Kevin McConville, challenger for sheriff. You're not even trying to hide the patronage here. Turning to my district, my colleagues again refused to restore the measly $7,500 it once paid toward garbage removal in Cold Spring, our largest tourism draw in Putnam County, and a location our tourism director relentlessly markets. The money has been taken from my district out of spite, because the people of District 1 ask questions and want good government. District 1 candidates loyal to Club Putnam are telling voters they'll only get that money back if they win. That's nothing short of extortion. Stay quiet and you'll get what the legislature deems you worthy of. I'm astounded that you toy with public health, like garbage removal. Public health is an essential service the county is supposed to provide, no matter the district's demographics. This is about Club Putnam's disdain for real inquiry and engagement from the public. The garbage is just one flagrant example of the purposeful neglect of District 1. District 1 bears the greatest burden of tourism. Visitors want to hike our trails, shop on our main streets, and eat in our restaurants, in numbers far exceeding visitors to the golf course or Tilly Foster Farm. We're not asking for $40,000 for some horses here, but the money could go pretty far in Phillipstown, keeping our residents and our visitors safe, our trails and our streets cleared, or providing freshly prepared food in our senior centers. Putnam County revenue has exceeded expenses by $38 million. Sales tax alone is up $8 million. That is public money that should be benefiting the public. The county has another $19 million coming from the American Rescue Plan, and we have not shared a plan of how it can be used to make our constituents' lives better. With numbers like that, it's clear to me no one should be hungry in Putnam, no one should be unable to access mental health and addiction services. No one should be struggling to get their wheelchair-bound loved one to the doctor. No one should worry whether a sheriff's deputy can get to them fast enough. People are losing their homes because they can no longer afford to live here. People are seeing crazy increases in their mortgages. So all of this in the 2022 budget utterly fails taxpayers of Putnam County, and I'm going to vote no.
Anyone else? Legislator O'Bannon.
Yeah, I just have to say that it seems Legislator Montgomery has a lot of political opinions. You know, we talk about our transportation manager. That's a CSEA position that's tested. He was one of, I think, the two of the people that took the test failed. He passed the test. He's highly qualified. In addition to that, he runs our unified work program for the Brewster Danbury train proposal, and that's all FTA funded, no money from the Putnam County. He's doing a great job. As far as our health commissioner was saying we're breaking the law, I'd like to see that documented, because I have never heard that, and I don't think it's accurate. So I don't think it's correct to make those kind of statements. As far as garbage, I mean, we can go on and on with all of these points, because basically I disagree with all of them. No village or town has the county pick up their garbage. So I don't know what makes Cold Spring so unique. It's not done anywhere else. Every town and village figures this out. A few years ago, the complaint was we don't have enough tourism on the west side of the county. Now the complaint is there's too much tourism. I think it has to be managed better there, and they wouldn't have these financial problems. Again, all I could say is I'm proud of the budget, I'm proud of what we're doing, and as far as the health department commissioner, the transportation manager, I think they're doing a great job, and I support them, and I'm proud of what they do.
Thank you. Anyone else? Legislator Castellano.
Certainly, there's a lot to unpack there, for sure. The $19 million American Rescue Plan, we're still waiting for the federal government to tell us exactly how to spend that money. It's not in the budget next year, but hopefully next year we'll have some good discussions with people and put it to good use to help people with the pandemic. We are very conservative in our sales tax projection of $62 million. I think the main reason for that is because we don't know what's happening in the next couple of years. Inflation is out of control. If you look at our gas bill from 2021 to 2022, it's up 16% because gas prices are out of control. That wasn't our fault. It doesn't fall under the tax cap at 16%. And we get it at a discounted rate also. And this fuels all our vehicles all over the county. Completely necessary. And I think part of the reason why we always stay under the tax cap is because we've been so lean over the years. There's really nothing to cut. We try our best every chance we get, but I think this is a great budget put in front of us. And I'm happy to see this move forward.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Chairwoman. First, I'd like to thank the Commissioner of Finance, the administration, County Auditor, and all our staff for doing such a fine job. It's a very long month, October. It's a tremendous amount of work. I know the administration works on the budget for months and months, and I think the end result is a very conservative budget and one that we should all be proud of. You know, I agree with Legislator Albano that some comments made were very political by Legislator Montgomery, talking about, you know, asking for money to be added and then criticizing the increase in the budget, highlighting the county executive's salary while not highlighting anybody else's salary. So all very politically motivated, you know, talking about things that have been discussed for months and months and months, and continues to bring them up and uses terms that are not accurate nor fair to the people involved that are running the daily operations of the county. And I'm just very happy that the budget, that we're able to work out everything. The sheriff's budget is increasing by over $1 million, where he needs money and where we feel it's necessary. We are more than happy to provide funding for the sheriff's department and for the men and women who protect us. And I'm happy that we can do that. And when we need to make adjustments, and many other departments do, bring things to the table to make recommendations to keep our budget as streamlined and as fiscally balanced as possible. Although the sheriff, I don't see that he brought any ideas to the table to save money. He just came and asked us for increases basically across the board. So I applaud the other departments, particularly the OSR. Their budget is almost $8 million budget, and they were able to keep their increase from last year to 0.1%. So thank you very much for running a very streamlined ship and coming up with many ideas on how to do the operations more effectively and more efficiently. And that's a great job, and a lot of old departments did the same thing. So I appreciate it, and again, I think it's a very good budget for the people of Putnam County, and I'm happy to approve it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hasn't had a chance to speak? Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to say, last year we did our budget in the middle of an unprecedented pandemic. And we've come out of it now, and we're honoring our commitment to our employees. There's never been a discussion of a layoff. Everyone's under contract. We've adequately funded our sheriff's department. We're keeping our people, our residents safe. We've adequately funded our health department. We're keeping our people healthy and safe from the pandemic. Everyone has access to vaccinations. Our senior citizens are well served by our Office of Senior Resources. I'd like to thank you, Mike Cunningham. You're doing a tremendous job on behalf of our senior citizens, and our residents should be proud of what we're doing here tonight. I'm going to be voting in favor of this budget.
Anyone else? Legislator Serino?
Yes, I too will be voting in favor of this budget. I think it is a modest budget, and I think it speaks to integrity, and to have Legislator Montgomery allude to the fact that this budget was not prepared with integrity and that we didn't act with integrity is offensive to me. In addition to that, the transportation manager, as Legislator Albano has stated, is a CSAA position, which, as we all know, has a specific set of a job description. In addition to that job description, he is managing the Southeast Railroad study, and which is fully refundable through the United Program work plan. In addition to the responsibilities, he has taken in managing $2 million restoration renovation of the transit facility, which is also reimbursed by the FTA. So to pick him out and try to degrade him in any way is also very offensive, because he's doing such a wonderful job and has stepped up above and beyond the job that he's doing and taken on additional responsibilities for the betterment of the people of this county. And I applaud him, and I applaud all the department heads and every employee that works in earnest every day to keep this county in such wonderful shape, and this legislature for working so hard with integrity and with the people in mind.
Thank
Could I
you.
just make a correction to something I said?
Yes.
With regard to the transportation manager, I said it's a tested position. When he took the test, only 2 other people passed the test, is what I meant to say. I think I spoke incorrectly.
Okay, than't you. Anyone else that hadn't spoken yet? Yes. Legislator Sage.
Yeah. This is a sound conservative budget for the taxpayers of Putnam County. As presented to the legislature, the county executive submitted total appropriations of $167 million, which is an increase of 2.3% over the 2021 budget. Keep in mind that 70% of this budget is mandated by the state of New York. With the uncertainty of a post-COVID economy, we face increases in the cost of energy and fuel, the uncertainty of supply chain, and the possibility of unstable sales tax revenues. This budget addresses this uncertainty and maintains our Moody's AA1 bond grade, which was upgraded in September 2020. It also meets all our contractual obligations to our workers. The driving factors of this budget are rising Medicaid, early intervention and preschool programs, health insurance costs, increases in pension costs, state budget cutbacks, and increases in community college. All these factors affect the budget. Furthermore, the county is required to pay for aid and incentives for municipalities and the Distressed Hospital Fund. AIM was previously paid for by the state, but is now required to be paid by the county to the municipalities out of the county portion of sales tax. For an example, for 2020, that total for AIM was $382,420. In 2020, that amount is $1,070,923. We don't know how this economy will move in a post-COVID economy, but I'm confident that this budget addresses this uncertainty conservatively and will serve the taxpayers of Putnam County in the years to come. We don't fluctuate from year to year, increasing taxes and decreasing taxes. We're steady here in Putnam County. The duties of this legislature are to review and adopt the county budget. We have done this in good faith over the course of this month, and our department heads over the course of the year. We met with all the department heads, discussed their budgets, hearing their justification in the budget process in good faith. I'd like to thank the county executive, the Commissioner of Finance, and all the department heads for their hard work in keeping this a lean and conservative budget, and I'll be voting in favor. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislator Goldman.
Thank you, Chairwoman. This is a conservative budget for Putnam County. It's in line with previous budgets that we've had the last several years. The county is paying off approximately $7.4 million in debt each year. The county is paying off more than the county is borrowing. At the end of 2015, the debt was $85.8 million. At the end of 2020, the outstanding debt for Putnam County was $68.2 million. That's a difference of $17.6 million. We've paid off $17.6 million over the last 5 years. Putnam County bond rating has been upgraded to AA1. According to our outside auditors, the county's financial condition is excellent. This budget will continue in the same track we have for the last few years. That's why I'll be supporting this budget. Thank you.
Thank you. I will also be supporting this budget. All right, just so everyone knows, and Legislator Sage mentioned that our mandates, non-funded mandates, equal 70% of our budget. Those mandates include the education of preschool handicapped children, health insurance, Medicaid, just to name a few. Our budget this evening complies with the New York State mandated tax cap, and I am proud of our fiscally conservative budget, which has earned us the AA1 bond rating, which in turn saves us hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. Our fund balance appropriation has helped to lower long-term debt and eliminate short-term debt. And I'd like to thank Commissioner of Finance and Administration for all their hard work during this budget process. Thank you.
Through the chair, I'd like to
Yes.
clarify some statements that were made, if I may.
We're not going back and forth this evening. It's
No,
one job.
there were some statements made that need to be corrected. For one example,
Chairwoman, I'd
there
like
was
to call the
a,
question.
excuse me, I have the floor, and I've been acknowledged by the chair. So I'm going to continue. Please don't interrupt me. You made a statement that,
Doesn't matter.
that there is a state that
We
there
called
is
the
no
question,
law
you have a second.
regarding.
There's a
Excuse
second
me?
on the floor. He called the question. There's a second. So
So you're going to
roll
stifle
vote.
District 1 again?
Roll call vote?
Legislator Albano.
Yes.
I have a letter here from Howard Zucker to Paul Eldridge and to Legislator
Oh,
Nassar.
you're out of
saying
order.
it is a
You're
state law.
out of order right
It's
now.
a state
Okay.
law that the
You're out of
commission
order.
does
I'm
not.
sorry.
And the
I gave you a
ARP
chance
money
to talk.
has been
Everybody had one
since
chance.
March.
Everybody had one chance
Yeah,
to
well,
talk.
they
We went
interrupted
around.
me,
But
and
we
you
weren't going.
allowed it.
No, but we
And
were
that's
not.
the crummy leadership.
But do you know what? I just want to say that we were not going back and forth this evening. We all made a statement
Yeah.
on the budget. You
And
had
we're
your
allowed to
chance, and
clarify some
but we're not
statements.
going back
How
and
come
forth.
you're not allowing to clarify
Because we're not going back and
statements?
forth to discussion
You're
and
just
and
not allowing
arguing.
anybody the lies that were
I'm
stated.
sorry, there were no lies, and we have a second, and we have a roll call vote on.
Very
Please
unfortunate.
continue.
Legislator Albano.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Young.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
No.
Legislator Nasarino.
Yes.
Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Legislator Sullivan.
Yes.
Chairwoman Edmiston.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, moving on to 7B.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's just a motion to call.
I'm sorry. The roll call vote for 7A for the approval?
legislator Albano,
Yes.
legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman,
Yes.
legislator Bianchi,
Yes.
legislator Montgomery,
No.
legislator Mastrino.
Yes.
Legislator Sage,
Yes.
legislator Sullivan,
Yes.
Chairwoman Edmisio.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to 7B, a resolution adopting the budget for the fiscal year 2022, commencing January 1st, 2022, making appropriations for the operation of the county government, establishing rates of compensation for officers and employees for the fiscal year 2022. Whereas the Putnam County Legislature has met and considered the tentative budget as submitted by the county executive and has held a public hearing thereon pursuant to Article 704B4 of the Putnam County Charter and Section 359 of the county law of the state of New York. And whereas the legislature has made certain adjustments to the tentative budget as submitted by the county executive, which are included as part of this budget adoption. Therefore, it be resolved that the Putnam County Legislature hereby adopts the tentative budget as amended by this legislature, which sets forth the appropriations for the objects and purposes as specified, and further establishes the rates of compensation to be paid, provided that said tentative budget as amended does not exceed the tax cap as provided for by state law. Be it further resolved, this act takes effect on January 1st, 2022. I make a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, regarding setting the,
Yes, Legislator Montgomery.
in front of me, I have a memo from 2018, November 14th, to Paul Eldridge from Howard Zucker. And the last statement of the memo from Howard Zucker says, also, as required in New York State public health law, every county health commissioner must devote his entire time to the duties of this office. And it also states this in the county charter. And the American Rescue Plan funds are clearly laid out. We know exactly what they can be used for, and that's been spelled out since March. And if you need that document, I'm surprised that we're claiming that we don't know what it can be used for, because it's very clear. And why we still don't know what we're using it for. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Roll call vote?
Legislator Albano,
Yes.
legislator Castellano,
Yes.
legislator Goldman,
Yes.
legislator Bianchi,
Yes.
legislator Montgomery,
No.
legislator Mastrino,
Yes.
legislator Sage,
Yes.
legislator Sullivan,
Yes.
Chairwoman Edmisio.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.